Simone. I've been training for about 3.5, nearly 4 years now for amateur figure competitions and bodybuilding. I love my training, it's my passion, and I got into fitness because I was at a point in my life where I just needed to change and I needed to bring some more positivity into my life and get healthy. And I found the gym and I just developed a passion from there. And it was about the same time that I joined the gym that I decided to embark on a vegan journey as well. I'd been vegetarian for 10 years before that, and ever since then it's felt like my life has just come together and fell into place, and I just love life. Well, I went vegetarian when I was about 13 years old, so 14 years ago now roughly. And it was a purely ethical decision. I just always loved animals and didn't want to hurt them, and my parents finally let me be vegetarian when I turned 13. So yeah, I never looked back from that point, but I never really looked any further than that. And it wasn't until I started getting into health and fitness and I started doing a lot of things like, if I was going to be vegetarian, I'd have to eat a lot of eggs and eat a lot of dairy and whey protein, and I started looking into the best sources of these proteins, and slowly I began to realise that they weren't really ethical choices. I started following Animals Australia as well, and ALV, Animal Liberation Victoria, and some of the investigations into the dairy farms and the egg farms made me realise that even the cruelty-free, free-range farms were far from ethical, and so I made the decision to continue my journey into fitness as a vegan. A lot of people seem to think that if they go vegan they'll have a lot less energy in the gym, or they won't be able to achieve their goals, and that's just completely wrong. For me personally, I found when I went vegan I gained more muscle than I ever did as a vegetarian. I did that quicker, I had more energy, my body just felt clean and efficient. I never feel fatigued or run down. I've had friends who have gone vegan and said the same thing, that once they cut out the dairy, once they cut out the meat, they just felt like their systems were they ran more efficiently and they had a lot more energy and they didn't feel sluggish anymore. And I really think it's just a really clean green energy source being vegan, and it's very uplifting as well. So you just feel great all the time. I think the best way to go vegan is just do it cold turkey. I don't believe in weaning off meat or dairy. The reason being, it's just you're going to continue to make excuses to keep eating that kind of food, and not only is that just not an ethical choice, but it's far better for your body to be eating vegan. It's the best thing you can do for the environment, for your body, for just people around the world. And look, if you're really struggling with cutting out meat and dairy, there are plenty of vegan options out there, vegan replacements. I'm all for the fake meats and the fake dairy if that's what helps you make the transition, but if you can do it cold turkey, that's the best way to do it. I eat a lot of whole foods, so I try and focus on as natural as I can get. I eat a lot of raw foods as well, but I do cook some vegetables, and obviously beans and legumes, lentils, you need to cook those, unless you sprout them, but that's very time consuming. Occasionally I will have maybe a vegan pizza with cheese, or the occasional treat like that, or vegan chocolate, but try and keep that to a minimum. So basically just whole grains, vegetables, things like cooked potatoes, lots of fresh salads, and a little bit of fruit. I don't go too heavy on the fruit just because there is a lot of sugar in fruit, and I personally find my diet works best when I keep my sugars a little bit lower and my protein and fats a bit higher. So I eat a lot of nuts, avocados, tofu, tempeh, they're my go-to proteins, as well as the protein powders. And yeah, just try and keep it basic and simple and as natural as possible with the occasional treat. Some of my favourite meat replacements are tofu and tempeh. The reason being that they are generally higher in protein than a lot of the other sources, and lower in carbs and lower in fats. Just so you can manipulate your fats and carb intake as well, especially coming up for when I do competitions and I need to keep track of everything. The great thing about tofu and tempeh is that per calorie it's got pretty much the same amount of protein as chicken, but per gram it's got less calories, so you get to eat more to get the same amount of calories and protein than you would say chicken, which is an awesome thing when you're watching your calorie intake and you're dieting and you're getting ready for a show. I see that as a really big advantage because I get to eat more than everyone else. Some of my favourite recipes are tofu scramble is my absolute favourite. If you go to veganism.org, there's a recipe there that's pretty much just grab your tofu, crumble it up in your hands, throw it in a pan with some coconut oil, chuck in some turmeric, some any other herbs and spices you want, some onion if you want, and nutritional yeast, and just mix it all up. It takes like 2 minutes to cook. Throw it in a bowl, and then I like to have that with some spiralised raw zucchini noodles and some kale, and sometimes maybe a little tiny dash of flaxseed oil for omega-3s, which is really important for vegans to get as well. And yeah, it's my favourite meal. Go vegan!